I'm going to share a short informational video with you today about how to drive a manual car. I know there's a lot of kind of mystery and almost some mystique behind driving a manual. People that have never done it before think it's really complicated and really kind of difficult to learn and do, and without ever really being introduced to it, they simply opt for an automatic car. But in my personal experience, having driven automatics while I was growing up and having not really been exposed to a manual car, when I did finally get a manual car, I was really happy with it and found there's a number of advantages to having a manual car. Specifically in my case, I noticed that I got quite a bit more power out of the car, just because you're more in control of when the car is upshifting and downshifting, and so you can get your tachometer up in the higher RPM range and have access to more power, whereas in an automatic car, oftentimes the car will upshift sooner in the RPM range, just to make the ride a bit more smoother in some cases, and also for fuel efficiency reasons to get you better mileage. I want to give you a few steps here that will get you started. I'll probably make a couple videos about this topic, but wanted to share first few things just to help get you started and familiarize you with kind of the basic concept of making your shifts as you're driving in a manual car. So take a look here. This is a 2012 Chevy Sonic. I have some work materials in here, so you'll have to excuse that. I'm actually on my way to go do some work here. I'm just on a residential road here near my home. Just a quiet, safe road to just do some simple instruction tips on. Here we have the shift knob, and then down here you're going to see we have 3 pedals instead of 2. We have the clutch on the left, and then of course the brake pedal and the gas pedal right here. So what I'm going to do, and what I think would be helpful, is just to give you a little bit of information or kind of a narrative as I progress into first and second gear, and then we can go to the next step. Okay, so here we go. Now, as you get started, I want you to avoid a certain misconception where it has to be like an all or nothing, off the clutch and on the throttle at the same time. That's not really how it's supposed to go, especially when you're learning. That will cause you to stall quite a bit. So it's not an all or nothing concept like that. Okay, so I'm going to progress into first gear here. What I'm going to do right now, I have my foot on the clutch and my foot on the brake. Okay, I will take the knob here, push it into first. Now, with my hand on the wheel here, I am going to release the brake while keeping my foot on the clutch, and I'm going to softly provide some gas as I'm letting the clutch out about halfway. That's all I'm doing right now, and I'm going. Once I'm going, I'll release the rest of the clutch as I continue applying the same amount of gas, and off I go. I'm now in first gear. Okay. Now I'm going to stop, take the foot off the gas, push in the clutch, and apply the brake. Okay, we'll do this one more time to illustrate. And after all, changing into first gear is actually probably the most challenging gear. I've noticed that going from first to second and third and fourth and fifth and so on is actually quite a bit easier and smoother. Okay, let's try the first gear transition here again. Okay, I have my foot pressed down on the clutch and the brake. We're currently in neutral. I'm going to put the knob into first gear here. Now again, first thing I do, off the brake, push a little bit of gas as I release the clutch only about halfway, and off I go. Once you're going, release the rest of the clutch and continue applying some gas. And there I go, I'm on first gear and I'm going. To go to second gear, push in the clutch, off the gas, move to second, knob to second, same thing. Slowly release the clutch as you're applying a little bit of gas in second. Once you're going in second, and you feel that going smoothly, release the rest of the clutch as you continue to apply gas. Okay, we'll do it one more time to complete this first instructional video. And I'm going to make a left-hand turn here as well. You can see how that factors in. Okay, again, both my feet down here, clutch is pressed in. When I'm getting ready to go, clutch is pressed in, brake is pressed in. Shift this to first. Off the brake, little bit of gas, little bit of clutch release. You'll begin going. As you begin going, keep the gas there and release the rest of the clutch. Now to second, push down on clutch. Shift to second while you're off the gas. Apply some gas. Let go of the clutch again. And you're going. So I'm cruising in second right now. Say we need to make a stop now, which is obviously an important thing, and also definitely a safety concern when you're first learning to drive a manual. Very simple, effective way to stop is to simply release the gas, put your left foot down on the clutch, put the stick into neutral, and apply the brake. And there we are. I'm stopped. Now, what I recommend to start off with is, if you take a car out, a family car or a friend's car, I would say practice with those few things to start off with multiple times. Transition into first, then into second, and then practice braking. And then do it again. Go into first, go into second, and practice braking. Once you master that, that's going to be half the battle. Then later on you'll get more into just improving your driving skills and being able to downshift to certain gears as you're rounding a corner and things like that are a bit more complicated, but I'll leave it at that for this first video, though that's going to be kind of the main concept. Once comfortable with that, then it'll be great for you to watch the second video on this topic that will delve into just some other areas to improve your driving in a manual car even more. I hope that helped and gets you started with driving a manual car. Please comment, leave any questions that you have below, and I can take a look and see what I can do to help out with that. I appreciate you watching, and have fun learning to drive a manual.